Hag Sameach. Always, it's a blessing to be here in person. We're very blessed to have a community we can have fun with. So, one of the things that uh, in the Torah that Hashem says, is that when we live in the camp, this is back when we lived in a camp around the tabernacle, that we would go and we would go outside the camp and we would go outside the camp to use the restroom. And when we would use the restroom, we would cover it up with a shovel, right? They call it a spade, right? It's just a shovel. And so the reasoning why was because Hashem's in our midst, and that's the idea of Sukkot, right? So this week, so I was getting my head about the issues I have to deal with. I had surgery, and so I've got issues in my legs, and so I'm dealing with, as Jews, and a part of our ritual, we stand, we sit down, we bow, we have all these different machinations. So I was wondering, do I need to stand? Like, am I losing something by not standing? This is there's some of my mystical leanings in my kind of Hasidic leanings. Be like this very mystical, right? So uh, Hashem has struck your legs because you didn't stand enough, right? Or whatever. And so it just so happens that today the Talmud, I get the daily Talmud, which is the Daf Yomi, which is Zevachim 23 is the daily, and I adjure you to study the Talmud. You can get this through the Jewish Learning Institute. There's various different things that you can get. It's very interesting. So it starts with this Talmud portion, Zevachim 23, discusses what? Standing, right? So I'm like, Hashem meets us where we're at, right? This is all in my head. What am I going? And so he's basically, the rabbis say that for priests or people in leadership, they're priests mostly were to stand. And if they weren't standing, then their sacrifices were not acceptable. And then it was talking about, then the rabbis, as they do in the Talmud, go off into discussing, how do you make yourself presentable? Did the priests need to work out their legs because they were barefoot all the time? It was very strenuous. You were actual work out what the priest did, right? And then it went into discussing, do angels even have knees, right? These are discussions that you have in the Talmud, right? Because they're saying, well, no one sits in the throne, right? In before Hashem, just Hashem and the great what they call the Prince of the Face, right? It's yes, Memtet, right? Is said that he sits in the presence, but I don't want to go deep into that. But basically, it's saying that we all have our own role. Then it went into discussing what if you can't stand, right? Then you're not a priest for that cycle, right? We have to be prepared, and Hashem will take us at any step we're in, right? He's saying where a person is disabled or a person is hurt, then they can do other things, right? But Hashem he has rules about the priest and about what they can do, what they can't do. We don't get to pick and choose on the Torah. Right. I just thought that was interesting that, I was already working this in my head about standing, being respectful for Hashem, and the need to get out and about and working my legs. And Hashem is right there to say, look, this is already discussed by the sages, there's so much that our sages in our tradition has for us. All we have to do is look. We live in a very, very blessed time. We have sources such as Sephardic, was it Sepharia.com? These are times we put something in the search bar and you can look at anything. It's at our fingertips. We're at a very, very blessed time that we have all these Jewish writings at our fingertips. I think we'll be judged based on this because we're at a very, very blessed time. And so just know that Hashem wants to spend time with us. He wants to Sukkot with us. Not only us, but it says in the prophecy we read today that he wants to do it with everyone. And he's going to call people from all over the nations. And he's going to say, and the hope is, some of our rabbis would say, that some people will cling on to Israel and take on the God of Israel and convert. And so Hashem wants to Sukkah with us, and he is able to speak to us in a mighty way. And so Shabbat Shalom, or Hag Sameach.